What's up YouTube, this is Fram and welcome to my Eureka for Dummies guide to make your life in Eureka less painful. Except maybe Pagos, but that one can't really be helped. This guide is not about questing in Eureka or how to advance to the next Eureka zone. This guide is to make your Eureka leveling experience smoother, easier, and faster. There are plenty of guides out there explaining how many mats you need to advance, where the quest locations are, how to upgrade your weapon, and all that stuff. This guide is going to explain to you how to get experience faster and easier, and how to get Hydatos as soon as possible, get your shiny armor, and make a good chunk of gil while doing it. Welcome to Framintor's Eureka for Dummies! Okay, let's get started. So let's go over some Eureka basics that you will need to know. In Eureka, your level does not matter. What matters is your elemental level. To gain elemental level, you will end up doing a lot of killing, and we will focus on Notorious monster farming to accomplish this. Before we go into Notorious monsters, let me explain how elemental bonus works for damage. After a few levels in Animos and doing your quests in here, you will unlock the magia melder. Okay? Here you can play with elemental attributes to help you fight monsters and NMs. The basic of how it works is kind of like rock, paper, scissors. Okay, so wind, for example, wind beats fire, fire beats ice, and ice beats wind. Okay, meaning that if you want to do more damage to the fire monsters, you will need to add a wind element to your damage. Okay, and if you want to take less damage from a monster, your element bonus should be the same element as the monster. So if you fight a fire monster, set your element to fire. I recommend for healers and DPS to go max on offense, meaning if you fight a fire, go full on wind, and tanks to go max on defense. Reason being that once you start doing prep runs, which we'll talk about later, the only one essentially taking damage is the tank, and the faster you kill stuff, the faster you can pop an NM and move on to the next one. Okay? Eventually you will unlock more. You start with one of them, which won't add too much, but as you can see here on the side, shows you how much percent it gives you. There is a diminishing returns on these element buffs. For example, right now, see, like the first one's 28, then it's 52, so that's only 24 increase. From 52 it goes to 72, so that's 20% increase. From 72 it's 88, so that's 16% increase, and then it's another 12%. So the more you add, the less technically you gain. Right now, because I'm higher level, 3-2 seems to work the best, but while leveling, just go with full offense or full defense. It would help you a lot more. Okay. Let's go over NMs, or basically Notorious monsters, okay? They are similar to a Fate boss encounter outside of Eureka. These have a respawn cooldown and require prep to spawn most of the time. Now, what is prep? Before we get into that, let's talk about tracking. For tracking, we use an outside source. So you're gonna want to go to FFXiV-Eureka.com, okay? Here I have it loaded up. Okay. Alright, so you're gonna go to Eureka tracker. Okay, you're gonna click on the one that you're in. So right now we're in Animos, we're gonna click Animos. Usually there is gonna be someone who's already tracking your instance. If there isn't, you're gonna have to do it on your own. Okay, so here you can see a list of NMs that are available for spawning and how to prep them. Okay, usually when you join an ongoing instance, there will be a tracker already, and they will link their track so you can see which NMs can be popped. If there is no tracker, like I said before, it will be a bit more annoying, but basically, if that's what happens, I would try to run a prep NM. I would start my own tracker basically, and you would try to start it from about the middle, or where the prep monsters are 2 levels under you or 2 levels above you. That would be the safe zone and the faster ones, and hopefully those ones are already like able to pop. If they aren't, you're just gonna end up killing the monsters for a long time, and that's unfortunate. It just means you just got into an instance and you're gonna waste about like 30 minutes of your time in a sense, until the tracker resets and like more of the NMs start to pop. Now, what is a prep group? On the tracker website, okay, you see a list of bosses, and next to the boss names, you will see on the right there, you will see the monster that you need to kill in order to spawn or pop it. Let's take the White Rider, for example. Okay, so here's the White Rider. Okay, so in order to spawn the White Rider, you will need to kill Duskfall Dullahands. However, next to their name, you see a moon sign. That means these monsters only spawn at night. So to prep the White Rider, you will need it to be nighttime. Another example of conditional spawning would be Jahannam. Okay, right here, Jahannam number 7. Okay, in order to spawn it, you need to kill Typhoon Sprites, which only spawn when it's a Gale's weather condition. There is no set amount of enemies you need to kill, but it's usually a very hefty sum. Always join a prep group for these and try to run with your prep group as much as possible. You do this for 2 main reasons. One, you will usually get faster XP from killing these monsters, as well as finish your weekly Eureka challenge log a lot faster, because you prep something, you kill it, you kill the NM, you move on to the next ones, and usually the elements are gonna keep changing, okay? And then in most cases, you will also be near the NM that spawns, and no one's gonna steal it by being an early puller, okay? Now, how pulling works in an M, and this is like, it's you don't have to do it, but that's kind of how people do it because they're like, you know, they're nice. So for the most part, people give pull timers, or PT for short. The timer they use for the PT is the Eorzea time. Let me go back to the game. All right, so we use the Eorzea time right here, okay? Right now it's 10:45 Eorzea time. So for example, if I say that PT would be 11:15, we're gonna wait for it to be 11:15 and then we pull, okay? There are exceptions to this rule, as with every rule, such as bunny NMs, which are basically pulled right away. You're gonna get bunny NMs in Pagos, in Pyros, and Hydatos. These are pretty much pulled. Like if you're there alone, you pull it. If everyone's there, they pull. Like there's no wait time on these guys. For Cassie in Pagos, usually there is it's an instant pull. What happens with Cassie, because it's a very popular NM and drops something very expensive, which I highly recommend trying to get because it's very expensive. You can make a good chunk of money on it. People prep it before, and as soon as the pop timer spawns for Cassie, which requires Blizzard, they just pull her right away. So you already want to be there. Even if, like, let's say you're too low to prep it, let's say you are level 34, the monsters are 40, you don't have a group. First of all, find a group. Second of all, get that spawn. Okay, do not bother doing anything else when Cassie is about to pop. Just go there, it pops, and people kill it. If you complain about early pullers there, people make fun of you. I'm sorry, that's how it is. It's one of those NMs that's like you don't have much of a choice. And also King Arthro, also known as Krabby in Pagos. This one also is an instant pull. Again, he drops a belt, a haste belt, which sells right now, I think, for like 11 million. It used to go for 20 million. Very expensive belt. People don't wait on this one as well. They prep it before. As soon as it gets foggy, I believe is the condition, people pull it right away and kill it. It's a very low, it's a pretty low NM. It dies pretty fast. So you want to be there right away. Okay. And yeah, so that covers the NMs. Now let's go over specifics for each zone. Okay, so this is Pagos. It is a frozen zone. Something I did forget to mention before is there is also a buff you can get in Eureka, which is the Elemental. Okay. And the Elemental looks like this, different colors in other zones, but basically this is the same shape it will have all the time, okay? Now, in order to get through Pagos, which is the worst map by, I don't know, I think it's a unanimous decision, Pagos is the worst one, but in my opinion, it's not that bad, okay, in comparison. There are 3 annoying locations that you have to get to in order to, you know, get through this place, and that's really what the annoying part is. But other than that, it's not that bad. So once you get here, This area is a level 20 to 35 zone, and again, your main way of leveling is NMs. This zone, however, does add one new NM type, which has two separate spawn locations. These are the bunny NMs. Overall, I do not recommend doing bunnies in Pagos, but if there is really nothing else you can do, I'd say go for it. The respawn on them is about 10 minutes, and I would recommend only doing the southern one in Pagos. Pagos is the worst Eureka zone, as I said before, mostly because of how uncomfortable it is to get places, as well as they added some dragons that are going to basically demolish you. I'm going to go over a quick tour of Pagos, and I'll show you the important areas that you need to know in the game. In the map. As you can see, these two that spawned right here, these are the bunny fates. I would only recommend, oh man, and Lohi spawned, so which is the big boss. Either way, these are the bunny fates you want to do. If you do them, you would only do this one. This one takes too long, and it puts you in very uncomfortable places to find the treasure chests. Basically, you finish the NM, you get a bunny, probably. You're gonna have an extra button on the quest log, which looks like a carrot. You click on it, and the bunny tells you if you're going in the right direction towards a chest. It would say something like far to the north, northwest, something to the northwest, immediately to the northwest, and then you find it, right? Just kind of like a game of hot and cold. Once you get it, it can be a bronze chest, a silver chest, or a gold chest. The gold chest gives you 100,000 gil. Silver chest gives you 25,000 gil. The bronze chest gives you 10,000 gil, as well as some other items you might get. I honestly, I don't even know if there's a gold chest in Pagos. I haven't done the bunnies here because they're just really not that beneficial. In Pyros and in Hydatos, you would be doing them a lot. I'm going to show you a quick map of where the bunny locations are. And boom, there we go. So this is the Pagos one. The top left is the Pagos. The bottom left is Hydatos. And the one to the right is Pyros, which is the third zone. And you always only want to do the south bunnies. And in Hydatos, there's only one bunnies because they figured no one even does the north bunnies. No point making a second one because it's pretty useless. All right. Now let's go through a quick tour. These are the important things you need to know about Hydatos, okay? So we'll start with this area, okay? This area will be probably like the most important area for you, mostly because of the crystal forge that you will unlock later on. Now, to get to the crystal forge, which is the biggest pain in the ass, and I think this is why people hate this place, you will need to jump down, and if you're in combat, you're gonna die. So you want to make sure you're not in combat when you jump down, and that after that you also like don't aggro the dragon. Okay, so let's get there real quick. Avoid all the mobs because it's a hassle. All right, and here we are. Gonna use this ledge. You're gonna need to jump down to here in order to go to the forge. I'm gonna find the location. Okay, there it is. Right, jump down. Now this place introduces a very annoying monster. It's called the dragon. These dragons will aggro if you run next to them. Okay, the void dragons. What you want to do is you want to make sure that you're walking nice and slow, and then you don't wake them up. Alright, once you pass them, you can start running again. Obviously be far enough so it doesn't affect you. And here's the crystal forge. You will need this later on in the quests to produce crystal proteins in this map. Okay, don't worry about that. Again, there are other guides out there with the quests and stuff like that. However, the most important part I just want to show you is because this is such an important area, you need to know where it is. There's some guides that tell you what you need to do, don't really show you how to get here. And then you just drop down here and you are safe. Now that is the crystal forge. next two areas that are very important are NM preps, okay? One of them is going to be Lohi, or Luigi, I guess people like to call it, and the other one is Horus, okay? So I'm going to use the teleporter. You will unlock these later on, don't worry about them right now. So we're going to go to gravitational, right? And I'm going to run all the way to the ledge. Again, it's going to be one of those drops. If you are in aggro, you will die. Do not be fighting anything, don't have aggro on anything, or you will die. Also, never ever release in Eureka unless like it's an emergency and you have to, because you're going to lose a lot of XP and you can lose resistance levels. Okay, so here I avoided combat. Now, for Horus, you want to have to jump down here. See that dragon over there? Yeah, we don't want to hit him. So, gonna find a place to spot. There you go. There's a spot to drop right there. As soon as you drop, make sure your walking is on. And there's the cave right over here. There's the cave for Horus, and the prep for Horus is there. Now, next one is Luigi, is this dragon area right here. This is the cave where you get, this is the cave where you get in as well, right next to him. You just have to drop here or drop on the other side, and you can walk in. Okay, that's pretty much all there is to Pagos. The reason it's annoying is because of the location of the important NMs as well as the quest location. Okay, all right, next we're gonna go into Pyros. Okay, welcome to Pyros. Yeah, it's still frozen, but I assure you everything up north here is boiling hot and lava and everything. Anyways, nothing new in Pyros compared to Pagos. Only thing is the dragons are a bit more loose. You'll have a lot more areas to walk between the dragons. You can actually run through them a lot of times and not aggro them, so that's good. So the map is already a lot more forgiving. No weird places to drop to, no puzzles to like fix and like figure out how to get to places. Everything is pretty much straightforward. As I showed earlier with the bunny map, you have two bunny fates. Only do the southern bunny fates. Again, main XP for you to get here is still NMs and prep, and you can do bunnies as well if you're lower level. Bunnies pretty much don't have any level requirements. You're gonna get a good chunk of XP early on and make a lot of gold out of it. You can get from the gold chest, and I think maybe the silver one as well, there's a chance you get a red Yeti mount, which sells for about 6 million gil, so that's a good way to make money. Now, the only new thing here is eventually after you do the quest, you're gonna unlock the logos manipulator. In here, you basically combine multiple logos in order to craft some type of logos action. Okay, in order to find out which action you can unlock or you are unlocking, you can go to the website again. Okay, and here you're gonna have this list. Yours will be empty, mine is full because I unlocked everything. And in order to unlock these logos actions, this is just to show that you unlock them. You don't have to actually equip any of them. You can if you want to. Most of them you will dump anyways because they're kind of useless. But it's just for the unlock. Once you unlock 50 of these, okay, you can start buying the basic elemental armor. Okay, and it already looks good. But in order to make it +1 and shiny, you'll have to go to Hydatos. So you do the quest, whatever, you get to Hydatos, and then once you're in Hydatos, you need to do unlock all 56 logograms, okay, logo actions. Now, in order to unlock these, you will need logograms. So in here you have a chart of the logograms and what they give. So a conceptual logogram can have a chance of dropping one of these. Fundamental, one of these, offensive, one of these, etc., etc. It even, once you, when this is completely new for you, it would show you how many in total you would need of each in order to get all 56. Okay, but honestly, I don't think it matters too much. You're gonna have more logos than you can imagine. And also the best thing is you can buy these. You can buy the logograms and then unlock them. I would highly recommend buying them. You will make your money back tenfold later on, but like no point in like, well, if you just want the elemental armor, just buy it. save yourself time, get all 56 unlocked, and get the +1 armor in Hydatos. Okay, now in order to unlock these, all you have to do, okay, so let's say this is the combination for Ethereal Manipulation L is Backstep L and Stealth L, or Wisdom of the Martialist, Backstep L and Feint L. Okay, so what you do is you're gonna go here, you're gonna click the manipulator, you're gonna see if you have these logograms unlocked. So I needed Backstep and Stealth, right? So I have Backstep, I have Stealth, I have Stealth. Now when I extract, I will get the logogram that we talked about on the website, right? And it just rushes to the target side. Once you unlock the second one, what you can do is you can have 2 of them. So you have one here, and then when you plug it in, when you combine them, you're going to have 2 different actions that you can choose from, right? In order to activate it, all you do is you click on it, it will smash it on the floor, and then you have an extra button that you can use in order to do whatever it is that the ability does, right? So for example, this one just charges me to the target, which I can't charge to that target. Is there a player here? Player, I should be able to, yeah, there we go. It charges me to the targeted player, okay? That's pretty much all there is to Pyros. Again, NM farming, prep groups, get your XP. Here you do not need to do your weapon. Once you got to this place and you got your Pagos weapon all the way up, you do not need to upgrade your Pyros weapon at all after that. Nothing. All you need is the 50 logo actions in order to unlock the armor, and the armor you're gonna get from the artisan here, right? In total, it costs you, the whole set will cost you 200 Pyros crystals, and in Hydatos it will cost you 190 Hydatos crystals. Okay, all right, now let's go to the next one. Going to Hydatos. Another thing you can do, by the way, if you want to leave the duty, if you're stuck in like a bad place and it's like you'll have to, like you want to leave or you want to get back to base and don't have your return, just leave the instance and join right back in. You'll be in base, most likely in the same instance. Okay, so let's go to Hydatos. Hydatos is by far the most forgiving, the best map, like simple, straightforward. It's just a good map overall. Okay, again, in order to level here, I would still recommend doing NMs. However, here I would highly recommend farming bunnies as much as possible. The bunnies will spawn somewhere around here, this little island over here where I'm pointing. And these bunnies will have a good chance of giving you the expensive logograms to sell. The most expensive one being protective, sorry. Protective logogram is the most expensive one. I think it goes for about 20,000 gil. You're gonna get so many logograms here just from like the NMs and mainly bunnies. Like honestly, if there's no NM on and you're not in the prep group, just sit at bunnies. Just do bunnies the whole time. It's a good XP, but mostly a lot of gil. Okay, and you get all the, if let's say you didn't want to buy the logograms, which you can buy, as I mentioned earlier. You can buy the logograms, oh nice, and then popped, and just unlock your armor. So once you unlock the 56 logograms, you go to the Expedition Artisan here, and you ask him to augment the armor, and then you can buy the +1, and the +1 is all you need for shiny. Boom, there it is. Okay, and that's it. That's all there is to Eureka. Everything from Pyros maintains and just add a bit more every time. Again, just to recap, bunnies, you really just start in Pyros and Hydatos. In Pyros, it's not priority. It's nice to do, but it's not prio. In Hydatos, it is, in my opinion, prio for the early levels because most NMs won't even give you crystals. And honestly, NMs barely give you crystals to begin with. What you want to do is to get XP and get gil, especially if you spent gil to make it to here with all the logos. You want to make that money back. That's the best way by far. Anyways, guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope this helps a lot, and I'll see you in Eureka. Peace.